were at the track last week. We were here just to shake the car down. We got 46 runs in throughout the day. It was a really hot day, so the car kept heat soaking and even letting it cool down. We were able to run an 11:07 at 130 miles an hour, which is the fastest the car's ever gone for us. We're back out here today because at the end of the day last week, we unfortunately lost a motor. We're going through all of that, figuring out the exact failure and what happened and why it happened, and we'll be sharing that with everybody very soon, but we want to make sure we get to the root cause of what actually happened before we share anything. We have a built motor available. Instead of putting the built motor in, we decided to actually put another stock motor back in the car. The reason for that is we feel that we're going to learn more from doing that. We're going to add more value to our program by continuing to push the stock motor. And in all honesty, it's also kind of fun to just do that. It's a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit more of a task for us to really focus on and make sure we can make sure everything is perfect as we can make it be. The motor is identical to what we were here last week with. The turbo is identical. We've made no changes to the engine setup at all. And we've just made some setup changes to the car, and nothing crazy, nothing drastic. We're just back out here hoping that the weather's a little bit cooler and hoping that leads to a little bit better time for us, along with having a little more seat time under our belts. We're hoping that makes a difference. So today should be really fun. We're kind of going after the philosophy. A lot of our employees say this a bunch. We're gonna slow down to speed up. We were focused on getting a lot of runs in last week, and this week is going to be a little more focused on taking what we learned last week and applying it each and every run here. So we're just going to see what that can do for us. I'm really excited, and I'm excited to take you guys along with the ride.
Well, this is our prototype inlet scoop that we made. I don't think it ever got tested with this turbo kit, so it doesn't appear like it's going to work right now. It needs to be like cut back a little bit, so we might have to modify it.
Should we go along with it? So this sits right on top of here. That sits right on top of there. Like looking at it, I would cut out these three maybe. It would not be a normal race day if we were not working on the car at the racetrack the morning of the day. So I'm not surprised or anything at this point.
What are you doing? Put that back on.
It was off. I'm putting it back on.
Why did you take it off?
Wash your mouth.
Dropping. Or you have it? This morning we decided we wanted to have the ability to monitor oil pressure, so we actually have a special housing that we made that threads onto where the oil filter goes that allows us to monitor oil temperature and oil pressure. So we spent a bit of time this morning getting that installed here at the track. Now what we're doing is just taking a couple pulls of the street tires up and down the track just to double check that everything's okay. Unfortunately, we lost our dyno the other day. As soon as we got the new motor and dyno stopped working, we were not able to test the motor the way that we would prefer to do it. Once again, we'll just make do. We have the tools that we need to here. We have enough logging equipment on the car that we are able to see what's going on and verify it's healthy. We're just doing that right now. Hopefully everything checks out. That seems to be okay. We'll figure out here in the next couple minutes and then we'll go racing. Do you want to do the first couple drives of slicks and then let Miguel drive, or do you want to have him drive and then you drive?
I'm kind of curious on his feedback.
Yep, launch it at 6,800. So we're at 11 right now. So
just take it to 8.5.
Take it to 8.5. 8.5 prior to the burnout, or 8.5 at the line?
8.5 prior to the burnout.
Engine-wise looks healthy, it's not knocking. Fueling looks good. Everything looks to be operating normally.
So we could be anywhere between 440 and
What's it launching
500.
at?
6,800.
6,800. Yeah, we need to bring that down. It just makes too much torque out of the line.
I don't know if thought I'd ever hear that about that motor. We launched at 7,000 was the highest we launched at last week. We started at 6,500 launch.
Okay. And right now it's at 68.
Yep.
You're good.
He's on the two-step for 1 second. It's obviously building much less airflow than.
Yep.
I'm so psyched to have Gatorade.
What, 8 hot?
Yeah. 198, 194, and then a 190.
Yeah, so it's going down slowly but surely.
Oh, sure.
I think he's still probably working out the car.
Oh, for sure. Miguel, you want to be in charge of looking at the tires after the burnout?
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll do one more run and then we'll let it do a proper cool down. We'll put the fans on it, let it sit, and we can swap the tires at that point too. Then we have 2 hours left and we can kind of divvy the time. And in all honesty, I feel like we're to the point now where it's you two driving the car. Need to get Miguel some seat time in the car. I think the car has it in it. I think right now the track is the best it's going to be all day. I think the weather is the best it's going to be all day. It's just a car that's really different from anything he's driven before, and we're putting him in kind of a weird situation, so we'll see what he can do. I think we got about an hour and a half left in our day here. I'm gonna give him an hour and a half in the car and just see what happens. 128.6, 11.47. 11.43, 128.09.
Sounds like a fourth gear failure. It seemed like it was going okay, then all of a sudden, did it pop out of fourth or just like nothing?
Yeah, basically it was going on the track. First, second, third was fine. Launch was fine. And then as soon as it clicks into fourth, it engaged, and then probably a couple hundred RPM in, it just lost fourth gear.
Did it like it didn't pop out of the shifter or anything? It just
No, it just lost fourth gear. And then I threw it in neutral, threw it in third, kept driving, threw it in fourth, and that's when it making terrible noises. So fourth gear is probably gone. So
interesting how it broke second and then it broke fourth. Like it seems like there's no like definitive weak point. Like they're just overpowering the transmission.
So our end of the day recap. Unfortunately, the car just didn't agree with us today. We had a lot of good passes, setup changes were working well. We have the same amount of power we've had in the car for the last event and probably the last 2 or 3 weeks on the dyno. Unfortunately, we got into fourth and we just lost something in the transmission. We don't know what yet. We're all prepared to put a new trans in the car, but unfortunately we don't have the track for much longer, so the time it's going to take to do that versus the time that we have left here today is just not on our side. So we'll get it back to the shop, we'll have the motor out most likely tomorrow or Friday, and we'll figure out what exactly we lost, go back to the transmission. We've been expecting a transmission failure, something that's already happened to us. We expect it to happen again, and we expect it to happen again. We have some solutions in the works. I don't know when that's going to be complete. It's a very complex problem to fix. Overall, the day went really good. I really couldn't have asked for too much more to change. The weather was great, the track was great. The car, for the most part, played nice with us all day. We chased a few setup changes, we chased a few driver changes, but you know, it's part of what we're doing here. It's not always going to go super smooth. It's always not going to be the perfect day. So we'll be back again, and we have some changes we want to make to the car, so we'll do that, and we'll see where it can get us next.